Dr. Carpenter, to counter Russian information operations, you say that the United States should take a more proactive approach, including identifying and taking action against Russian misinformation or debunking those false stories. And I agree with you on that point. And can you explain to us what role the messaging in Russian films and TV shows plays into this information campaign? And then also, what about social media and how that applies to the situation?
Well, Russia has made great use of the virtual monopoly that it has on broadcast television inside Russia, but then now also in occupied parts of Ukraine to be able to get its message out. And it relies on very slick programming that appeals to the folks that tune in to TV. It's shows, it's comedy, it's movies, but then it's also interspersed with propaganda. And so it's very difficult to combat when most people in these areas get their sources of information from TV. And I think the way to go about combating that is to try to go and use the various platforms that we have available to get the message out in this information space. So I would actually separate this into two things. There's things we need to do here in the United States. So we have RT, we have Sputnik, which are Russia propaganda programs here in the U.S. Frankly, I would advocate using more regulatory tools to, for example, put a banner at the bottom of the screen saying this programming is financed by the Russian government or is Russian government programming, so that people are aware. We still protect the First Amendment rights to watch what they want to watch, but they're aware, just like we do with cigarette packages, to warn them what it is that's inside the package. In Russia and inside occupied Ukraine, it's a little bit more difficult. The BBG has developed some digital tools, so that's programming that's now available on a 24/7 basis that can get inside to Russia, but it's available on the internet. And so most people still tune in to broadcast TV to get their news and to get sources of information. But we need to push more. We need to get out a message, we can't just play whack-a-mole and continuously try to debunk every single fake news story that Russia puts out there. That puts us on the defensive. We need to start to put out information about what's going on in Russia in terms of corruption. You see the protests that just took place on Sunday across almost 100 cities within Russia. And so I think getting the message out will resonate in Russian society. And it's just simply a matter of letting people know what's actually happening with their government. I think a lot of Russians to this day believe the government in Kiev is run by fascists. They believe all kinds of fake news stories that have been peddled simply because they don't have an alternative source of information. So we need to get better at that. The Baltic states have also been good at putting out some broadcast programming that aims at Russian-speaking audiences. It's limited to the Baltic region, but we should explore supporting them and trying to get that broadcasting out to more Russian speakers.
Very good. Thank you. Ranking Member Heinrich.